but I made this because it does scare the out of people. You just like pop out and
trick or treat.
Do you guys know what this is?
Yeah, it's a prop that you made that's a little weird. I don't even want to know.
It's a shaker.
Tin can with coins in it.
That's exactly what it is. It's a scare shaker. I made this in like 87. They used to have these at Not Scary Farm so they wouldn't like ruin their voices, I would imagine. But I made this because it does scare the out of people. You just like pop out and
Who does that scare?
I don't think it scares anybody, Mike.
we'll put the mask on now.
It sounds like Krampus.
Did that work better?
It sounded like Krampus.
All right, well, tonight we are bringing you our annual Halloweeniacs Halloween radio special.
Hold it there, Mike. I believe I'm introducing this evening's show.
Sorry about that. I forgot Dr. Klopek, our resident skeleton, will do the honors. So, Dr. Klopek, take it away.
Thank you. And welcome, goblins and ghouls, to the pumpkin patch at the end of Mayfield Place, where shadows stretch long and pumpkins whisper secrets to the wind. I'm Dr. Klopek, curator of the creepy and seasonal spoke skeleton for the Halloweeniacs. Tonight, you're invited to our Halloween special, our annual twisted little gathering, where my ghoulish companions share scary stories dredged from the dark corners of their minds, or maybe just from their basements. So light your jack-o'-lanterns, clutch your candy corn, and prepare yourself for the things that go bump in the narrative. But first, brace yourself for something truly bone-chilling. That's right, a commercial break.
There's a vacancy at the Bates Motel.
Norman, is that you?
No, it's Buzz McKenzie, and it could be you. Look for this display and enter Bud Light Psycho Sweepstakes to win a Bud Light party with Buzz McKenzie at the Psycho Mansion. You can even get a mug like Spud's at participating retailers. Wow!
That Spud's is so cool, it's scary.
Welcome back. Now let the story, terror, and Greg's screaming begin. Up first, we have Matt with a frightfully fun story. Take it away, Matt.
All right, tonight I'm kicking off the scary stories for Halloween. This one is a little bit of scary, a little bit of funny, a little bit of, I would say, kind of messed up. I don't know if Greg remembers this because he wasn't home, but I don't remember exactly where you and Mom and Dad were for the weekend, but I was left home by myself for the weekend and something crazy happened. We call it the killer night. I haven't shared this story with a lot of people, and I was asking some of my friends who were there to fill me in on some blanks that I may have misremembered. The story goes, it was an evening in the fall. It was dark and scary, and I was home alone with a couple of friends. So I had my friend Chris, Brian, Jared over. I think Joe was there as well.
The Screamers.
Part of the Screamers were at my house, and we rented Puppet Master. We also rented, I think, Child's Play. It was Pinhead. I definitely remember Puppet Master being on TV at the time. We were home, just hanging out, watching movies. Again, home alone in the fall. So the setting is right there. We received a phone call. The phone rings, I go to pick it up, and it sounds like a witch's voice. And they were just saying some weird stuff, and that was it. Melissa at the time, she was also over. I forgot to mention. She was over at the time, but then she was leaving, and then we were just going to spend the night watching scary movies, eating pizza, a lot of junk food. Anyway, she left, but the phone calls continued. Ooh. Yes, and they kept getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And we were like, dude, who's making these phone calls? So then finally, we were like, all right, I think we know who it is. And it was our buddy's cousin that we suspected could be the prankster. So we ended up going to their house because they were all together at the time. We started messing with like their house and their cars. And our friend's car was actually opened. And so we jammed a stick between her seat and the horn to like just let it constantly go off. Also, We dumped some leaves.
Like what? Like a tree branch or something? Like a
Yeah, we just found a tree branch. It was just random, and we kept.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it was really bad.
so the horn's just laying on.
Yeah, and
With all leaves in the car.
with leaves because her moonroof or sunroof was open.
I would be pissed.
Yeah, I'm sure she was really pissed because then, and we also screamed like, "Don't mess with the screamers." So anyway, fast forward, we get back to my house. The calls still happen. And then at this point, we're like, what the hell's going on? We all try to figure it out, but also like grab knives because we went outside to like, investigate because they were like, we're outside. Nobody was outside. Then we received another phone call. And then this time they're like, I'm still outside. So we're like, we don't believe you at this point. But then somebody rang the doorbell and then banged on like one of the windows.
Boom.
What the hell? Because I was on the phone at the time, which was in our kitchen. When I'm on the phone, this happens. And then all of a sudden, I like look into the living room where my friend Joe and Jared were. And Joe, I think, hit the deck. I think they both hit the deck when like somebody banged on the door and the doorbell rang. I was like, dude, was that you? I thought they were messing with me at first. And then they were like, dude, that wasn't us. Somebody's actually at the door. I'm like, dude, that's creepy as hell. And then like my friend Chris was in the kitchen with me at the time, and he's like, yo, I don't know what the hell's going on, blah, blah. Now they're coming to the house. So finally, like, that night dies down. But the next night, it started to happen again because we were all hanging out. I don't remember exactly like this night. I just remember the first night it happened. But the second night, we were all together again. Melissa was back with us because she was dating Chris at the time. And we were all just hanging out and the phone calls kept happening. And my buddy Chris and everybody else was like, dude, I'm not staying here another night. Like, people are messing with us. And they actually knew where I was that day. They were like, yeah, we saw you going to work. And, they were naming some shit that I was actually doing that day. And I was like, all right, this is really weird. They were actually like stalking me now. So then my buddies were like, dude, you got to call the cops. So I ended up calling the cops.
Nice.
Which was probably like so bad because I'm like, all right, they didn't do anything besides like know where I was that day and bang on our front door, ring the doorbell, and who knows exactly who it was. But the phone calls didn't stop. So finally, like the cop shows up. He parks at the end of the driveway. And I'm like, all right, shit, the cop's here. I'm going to have to go talk to him.
They killed the cop.
I thought they were going to because I'm walking down the driveway at this point. All of a sudden, Melissa comes up behind me, like grabs me. And she's like, oh, fuck, I wish you didn't call the cops. It was me. I was like, what? I was like, she's like, it was me. We played a prank. She's like, the first phone call gave her the idea to like mess with us because we would always mess with people, like prank calling, doing the scream thing.
We got too scared, so I called the cops.
So at this point, like what's going through my head was like, shit, I'm a puss. I'm an idiot. And now how am I going to talk to this cop and explain all this?
Jump on the hood and tell them that there's these people in your house eating all your food.
Dude. So I end up just walking to the cop and being like, hey, I'm really sorry. It was a prank. And apparently one of our friends did it. Blah, blah. And then I guess he didn't seem annoyed or anything. He was like, all right, thanks, man. And I guess he just, took my name and everything. I'm like, fuck, now my mom and dad are going to find out. Like the cops came to the house and all this other stuff. It was just a wild night. And she said she got the idea from the very first phone call.
Who was the first phone call?
That's what we don't know. She was saying she was making most of the phone calls, but then when they banged on the door, it was her and her little brother who banged on the door because they knew exactly where we were in the house. And then she's like, yeah, my uncle picked us up around the block and then we left. That was good. I was like, you got us. And I was like, I'm embarrassed that I actually called the police.
You guys called the police.
Dude, when I went up there, like I went out and I was halfway down the driveway and she comes running behind me. I'm like, what the fuck is she going to say? Like, she's like, Matt, wait. It was me. And I'm like, the embarrassment.
The screamers got screamed.
Yeah, the embarrassment, just it all, and trying to think, like, process that really quick in my head. Like, how do I explain this? Is this guy going to be pissed? Am I going to get in trouble for making like a false report?
Yep.
Like all this other shit. I'm like, great. I don't know. And then finally I just told him the truth.
Let me ask you this, Matt.
I was so scared. I called the cops.
What were you more scared of? The caller or finding out that the cops were going to tell your parents?
Probably the cops telling my parents, because I'm like, great, I'm never going to be left alone again. And I honestly don't even remember where like they were. I wasn't really scared because I'm like, all right, we received prank phone calls all the time. And I was like, all right. It wasn't until my friends were like, dude, I'm not sleeping here again tonight.
I'm not sleeping here with you.
And then like when they told me exactly, you know, where I was, at what time, where I worked, you know, who my girlfriend at the time was and all this other stuff, they were saying like crazy stuff. And I'm like, how the fuck did they know? Like, if people know me, like, all right, I get some of it, but like, if you know I left the house at this time, went to work, got home here, you knew what we were watching. It was like, all right, dude, somebody, either one of my friends in the room, and then I thought I would like deter one of them by like calling the police, but yeah, it was one of those things where I'm like, oof. So we always reference it as the killer night. So it was kind of messed up what we did because we had to apologize to our friend's cousin. And we're like, yeah, we're really sorry. We feel like dicks now messing with you guys. And it wasn't even them.
It's fucked up.
Are we going to give it a Reese's or are we going to give it the axe?
That's for you to decide. I wish I knew.
I mean, I think the pranksters got a lot of Reese's. Their reaction, the screamers who did all these like pranks on everybody, they got a rock. They got a huge rock.
Terrible.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
What time of year did that happen? Was that around Halloween time?
It was definitely in the fall because there was leaves. So it had to be around like September, maybe October. Maybe it was even November. I don't really remember. I wish I can go back into like my hard drive in my brain and just like relive it all.
I called the cops on you guys.
And you'll never find out who the original witch was. And we still to this day don't know who that original
It could have been
call.
me. Could have been mom. It
wasn't
been dad.
you. It wasn't
you don't
you.
know this.
It wasn't you because you got scared when Scream actually came into the house.
A killer came into the house.
Yeah, this was on our first Halloween stories.
A killer came into the house. You just got a phone call and a knock on a door. I'm sitting there watching TV and a killer walks into the living room. I think that's more terrifying.
Yeah, well, people could decide for themselves. Do you give it a Reese's or rock?
I'm going to give it a Reese's. I was engaged the whole time. I was wondering who that person was that called you. What's your favorite scary movie, Matt?
Well done, Matt. A tale as chilling as possible in a haunted freezer. I haven't felt that kind of dread since someone tried to microwave a pumpkin pie. But don't breathe easy just yet, dear guests. After these messages, Mike will return with a scary story to send chills up and down your spine. We'll be right back.
This Halloween, capture your ghosts and goblins on genuine Kodak film from Thrifty. Whether it's print, slide, or movie film, Kodak is the choice of professionals. Thrifty carries a full line of Kodak film, including C126-24 exposure, C110 and C135 24 exposure in regular and high-speed print film, KR135 36 exposure slide film, and Super 8 movie film. Remember, the sharper you want your memories, the more you need Kodak film and Thrifty.
Welcome back. Our tale comes from the murky mind of Mike, whose imagination is as twisted as a pretzel made of cobwebs and regret. A story that will probably go on and on and on and onward to the next nightmare.
I believe you guys know a little bit of this story. You guys meaning Matt and Greg. This story takes place when I was a kid. So my parents divorced at the very beginning of 1985. So it was right after Christmas of 84. I remember we came back from a Christmas trip in Colorado, and that was when the divorce began. Okay, so in that spring, my mom started dating again. My dad moved out. He probably moved away like 30 minutes away. So he was pretty far away from us, but we stayed in this big 2-story house in the burbs in Ventura County, which is north of Los Angeles County. At that time, the Night Stalker was out and about. Like, we all knew about the Night Stalker. Everyone was talking about him. He was on the news. He was a pretty scary deal. So for those who don't know, Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, was a serial killer and rapist who terrorized Southern California in the mid-1980s. The series of brutal home invasion murders marked by satanic symbolism. Captured in 1985, he was convicted of 13 murders and sentenced to death, dying in prison in 2013 from cancer.
There was a great documentary on Netflix of this. So
Yeah,
I
there
would
was.
recommend like watching it because it did captivate me. And then when you told us this story, go on because I was hooked.
And that documentary will come up. My mom did go out on these dates, and us kids were at home with no babysitter because this is back in the 80s. We're latchkey kids. There were no babysitters.
Latchkey kids.
That's what it's called, latchkey kids. I was in 4th grade. My sister was in 7th grade, and Tom was in 2nd grade. Where is Walter? Is he coming?
Walter is still missing.
We don't know where he is.
Poor Walter.
So, and Tom was in 2nd grade. So here we are. These 3 kids were home alone at night. My mom's out late. Who even know? There was no cell phones. There was no like, if there's an emergency, call me here. Who knows where she went? We had no clue where she was going. We were just home alone. My sister would be on her phone upstairs. Tom and I would be downstairs for most of the time. But once it got really dark and late, we would go upstairs because we were always afraid someone was going to come in or try and get in. And our house was old and creaky. You know, like when your house settles, you hear any little noise, you think someone's trying to get in. And with the Night Stalker on our mind, it's like, he's coming to get us.
The Night Stalker.
This one particular night, we're home alone. Nothing happened. My mom comes home. We're all asleep by the time she gets home. The next morning, she gathers us all in the downstairs dinette to tell us what had happened when she got home that night. She was upstairs. She got cleaned up for bed, got in bed, lights are all off, and all of a sudden she hears the front doorknob, someone like jiggling the front doorknob trying to get in. So she gets up, she doesn't turn on any lights, and she's like, goes outside of her bedroom and just was kind of listening. And sure enough, she could hear someone trying to turn the doorknob. So she calls 911 and says someone's trying to get into the house. They're like, okay, we're on our way over. Meanwhile, she hears like a ruckus in the backyard. Her bedroom, the back window of her bedroom looked down into the backyard, and just below her room are sliding glass door into the living room. She was looking down and sees this like shadowy figure go to that sliding door and try to open it. Then she sees the dude go to the kitchen window, which she could still see from her bedroom window. Meanwhile, she's still on the phone with the cops. They're like, we're down the street. Stay calm. We'll be there in just a moment. She sees the dude go to the next sliding door, which went to our dining room, and he's trying that. And meanwhile, here comes the cops. And then the dude disappears, out of sight. She doesn't know where he goes. They're like, we don't see anyone. We're at your house right now. There's no one there.
Dude.
That was it. She told us that story. We never found out who it was. And it always freaked us out. Every time we were home alone, all we thought about was that guy trying to get in.
The Night Stalker.
Tom and I used to actually carry around knives and stuff. We would go down into the kitchen when my mom would go on dates. We'd go into the kitchen, get like the butcher knife, like all these knives. We'd go upstairs and we would be ready to go. So in case if anyone did break in,
you would be ready to go.
Yeah.
You were actually gonna go stabby.
Matt's calling the cops, and you're grabbing knives. I like this much better.
We grabbed knives. I told you about us grabbing knives in the story.
There would be times where our house would settle. We would actually, Tom and I would go downstairs. I think I had my Fisher Price camping belt with the canteen, but I would put like weapons. I put like knives in there.
I put weapons.
Knives in there.
Imagine the police came over at that time just to like double check, and then there's kids running around with like knives in their utility belt and be like, dude, this family's psycho.
Yeah.
No, in their Fisher Price camping belt with actual kitchen knives.
That's what I'm saying. These kids
fishermen. They're fishermen.
They're
fishermen.
This story is not over yet.
Of course it's not.
Cut to 2021, and Netflix releases its 4-part documentary series that Matt was just talking about called Night Stalker, The Hunt for a Serial Killer.
The Hunt.
I'm watching this thing because I remember all about the Night Stalker as a kid, but there was one particular part in that doc where Richard Ramirez committed a known attack in Ventura County, the same county we lived, on July 5th, 1985. That night, he broke into the home of Sakina Abawath, don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, and her husband, Elias Abawath, in the city of Simi Valley. In the documentary, it showed that Ramirez passed through where we live because he was doing most of his killings in LA, and Simi Valley is like here, and we're right in the middle.
Tried to break into your house.
The summer of 1985, which was when the incident with the door rattling happened.
Damn.
In the summer of 1985. Now, one other thing in the documentary, it talked about how the Night Stalker would get into homes. He typically did not break in. He would check for unlocked doors and windows, and he would just roam neighborhoods at night, look for open and unlocked entry points, especially sliding glass doors, bedroom windows, or garage doors.
Dude, I wish you had a camera or like the Ring cameras that we have today, because that would have been wild.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever leave your doors open?
Never. No, we always locked our doors. We never did find out. My mom suspected it was my dad because they were still kind of newly divorced, and she always felt that he wanted to come back into the family. If he scared my mom, my mom thought this, like if he scared my mom,
no way,
then she would want him to come back. I don't think that we brought that up to my dad. He's like, what the hell would I do that for? I'm going to drive all the way up there, half hour to do this?
That's true. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
But I will say,
the Night Stalker, dude, you would have.
The Night Stalker. Mike could have been killed by the Night Stalker.
Dude,
the Halloweeniacs would never have been around.
To this day, it haunts me to know that night, the Night Stalker might have gotten into our house and killed us.
Dude, I wouldn't even joke because that's like wild. Like when I first saw that documentary and then I told you about it and you're like, dude, I have this story. I was like, you have to share that at one point because that's definitely a Reese's. I would give it a Reese's.
Yep.
100% because that's just wild. Like, what are the chances?
What are the chances of Mike getting killed by the Night Stalker?
What if we were that Simi Valley couple? Well, not a couple, but like essentially he moved on, went to Simi Valley, which is kind of near where we lived.
Killed those people.
We could have been those people. He could have killed all of us.
He could have taken Tom, and that's why Tom is no longer here.
Could have been.
In the alternate universe.
Buried him in the backyard.
Is missing.
They're fishermen.
Well, Mike, that story gave me goosebumps, and I don't even have skin. But if you thought that was unsettling, just wait until you hear what Greg has buried under his floorboards of fiction. After these messages, we'll be right back.
There's goblins, there's ghouls, there's pirates about. Halloween's coming, the trick-or-treaters are out. But look at that witch on Halloween night. She's the first one with a blinking pumpkin light. Pumpkin light flashes so everyone knows she is near. Pumpkin light makes Halloween safer and scarier this year. And pumpkin light safer for a spooky pumpkin too. Just pop it right in and watch your pumpkin go boo.
Pumpkin light is available at Osco, Purity Supreme, Spags, and Leewards.
We're back. Greg, step right up. The pumpkin patch is yours.
All right, so I don't have any personal stories.
You shared a bunch, though.
I did share a bunch. I think the last 2 years each year I gave 2.
Wait, should I get a Halloween snack before your?
It looks like a Christmas snack there, Mike. It should be in
What,
a
you got
Halloween
Milky Way?
Milky Way.
Yeah, sit back,
relax, and eat a candy bar for Greg's story.
So my story's set in 1973.
Ooh.
In Illinois. Not Haddonfield, but Enfield. Have you guys ever heard of the Enfield monster?
No.
or it's called the Enfield Horror.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
This is a cryptid. Okay, there was a family, the McDaniel family. One night in 1973, they heard what sounded like scratching and rustling on the side of their house. Their kids screaming, terrified, something's out there. Well, the father, Henry, he goes out there to investigate with a flashlight and a firearm and sees what looks like a humanoid gray, three-legged with pink eyes creature.
Interesting.
It's about 50 feet away from his house. As he shines the flashlight on it, kind of hops and runs into the darkness. He doesn't know what it is. Now, there's a couple of explanations, about this cryptid story and about what actually happened.
Is this like a true story?
This is a true story. So the incident attracted a lot of media attention and leading to a lot of public searches to find out what this creature actually was. There was alleged recordings and sightings of this creature as well by multiple people. One incident where I mentioned the McDaniel family, he actually chased the creature into the darkness and it hissed and leapt on its three legs, got away from this guy. Now, the evidence after the encounter, he called the cops. The cops found scratched up windows and hair fibers in the bushes, along with some paw prints, what were described as 5 to 6 toed paws. Possible explanations, because no one could ever find out or figure out what this actually was. Some people considered it a hoax, but the police evidence of finding scratches on the screen, hair in the bushes, and the paw prints, you would think something's out there, some type of creature. One explanation, and this is going to sound funny, is they think it was an escaped kangaroo from a local zoo.
Oh, that's boring.
Another one, people believed it was a hoax. People believed that the McDaniels had a pet that they didn't want to tell people about, like maybe it was a weird kind of pet. And then the other one, University of Illinois' in 1978 study suggested the incident was of social people and firsthand experiencing and exaggerated of seeing just local animals.
It's possible.
Now, the legacy lives on as the Enfield monster in cryptid folklore. And allegedly, the screams of the creature were reported by a local radio director, Rick Rainbow, and sometimes referred to as the lost cryptid media. So no one knows what this actually was.
While you were telling that story, I just looked him up.
Oh, there you go.
Enfield Monster. Look at this thing. He's pretty creepy. So this is in Chasing American Monsters.
Yeah. Look at that. It's actually in there. I've never heard of this one before. And I'm really curious how many encounters people have with all these different cryptids don't get reported in terms of the mainstream or get picked up like this one, because I've never heard of this and I love this stuff.
The Enfield Monster.
The state of Illinois. Yeah, April 25th, 1973. Here's the whole story right here.
Love that.
Yeah, it's in this Chasing American Monsters.
That's interesting, man.
Spooky.
Where did you were just looking this up and we're just like, yo, I want a scary creature to tell everybody about.
Yeah, I was looking up real terrifying stories. I could have did one about a killer.
A killer.
Yeah.
We had a killer night. And then also the killer would have been a good theme for this year.
I did just start watching the Ed Gein tapes on Netflix.
Ooh, you could have shared that.
Yeah, that's freaking creepy.
Mike's giving this a Reese's, I bet, because he's already still studying.
Mike's already.
Yeah, well, I'm checking to see if it's in this guy, Cryptozoology.
Is it in the Transylvania Travelers book?
It is not.
Dude, that should have been a monster and a creature in the Transylvania Traveler.
I've never heard of this monster.
Look at me just bringing Halloween to the masses.
Was that the only sighting? It was never cited or reported on again.
So people said they did see it around town, but it was never reported like that. Like the police got involved or anything like that. No.
See, I wish towns like this would kind of do events
embrace it.
Yeah,
like the Mothman.
Exactly.
The Mothman, New Jersey Devil.
Right. If more people did
Bigfoot.
that, I would go out to this random town
It's right next to
Illinois.
Haddonfield, Illinois.
A lot of monsters in this here, but it's not in this book. But yeah, it is in this Chasing American Monsters book. Pretty sweet. Yeah, I dig that. That's pretty spooky.
I dig it too. I like learning about new cryptids. Nice job, Greg. Reese's.
I'll definitely Reese's. Yeah, I'll give that a Reese's.
Rock for no pictures.
Yeah.
It should have been a killer. The killer theme should have been throughout. But anyway,
Maybe next year.
maybe next year.
Bravo, Greg, bravo. A tale so grim it almost made my skull crack a smile. And now, these messages.
Hi, I'm Bob McGrath, and I'm here to help these kids trick or treat for UNICEF. Want me to tell about how UNICEF provides basic health services and emergency aid for children in 119 countries?
No, we'll do that.
So, what do you want me to do?
Ring the doorbell. We can't reach it.
Oh.
Trick or treat for UNICEF.
For more information, call 1-800-FOR-KIDS.
Welcome back, goblins and ghouls. To all of our brave listeners this evening, thank you for surviving the Halloweeniacs Halloween radio special. If your heart's still beating, consider it a gift. Or a clerical error. Remember, the best stories are the ones that follow you home and whisper when the lights go out. May you share your own scary stories to bring in this most terrifying time of the year. Until we meet again in the pumpkin patch at the end of Mayfield Place, don't forget to stay spooky.
Forgot to take my lantern out for my story.
Well, take your lantern out now because we are about to embark on Halloween. So thanks, Dr. Klopek. Man, I love being a Halloweeniac. If you're a fellow Halloweeniac, you already know what to do. Help spread the word. Keep those jack-o'-lanterns lit this Halloween. You don't want Sam visiting you until we see you in the pumpkin patch at the end of Mayfield Place.
Stay spooky.
Halloween trivia, the most important part of the show.
Halloween trivia. Halloween trivia is nice.
All right.
Is it a trick or is it a treat?
Is it a trick?
Ha 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 ha. Klopek.
Matt's triviaing.
No one knows if it's a
Wait,
trick.
who's trivia in it?
Me and Greg are tied right now.
Ooh.
Me and Greg have both. We're 4 for 8. Mike is 3 for 8, and Tom is
0.
Where is Walter?
All right,
The Night Stalker got him.
This one's a good one, just because Mike usually does this every Friday during the month of October. It's the Fun Size Friday, so this will be a great question for Halloween and for those trick or treaters out there this year. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Commonly handed out at Halloween.
Rumsfeld.
During what decade did the Fun Size candy bar originate?
Ooh. Like, wait,
What decade?
what decade?
So what decade? It's not
Okay.
asking for the exact year, but what decade did the Fun Size candy bars originate? You ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's hear it.
Is it A, the 1940s, B, the 1960s, C, the 1930s, or D, the 1950s?
Art here. I forgot my name.
Today, Junior.
60s. 60s.
So Mike is going with B, 60s. Greg?
Oh, I should have used this to call it.
Halloween Fun Size.
I'll go with the 70s just to be different.
There is no 70s.
No 70s. So you have the 40s,
Okay.
the 60s,
Yep.
30s, or 50s.
Ooh. So we got the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, essentially.
Yep, 30, 40s, 50s, 60s. Which one?
And you went with the 60s?
I went with the 60s.
He went
Yeah,
with B.
then I would go with the 60s as well.
You're both going 60s.
Yeah.
B, 1960s. You both will be incorrect. Matt's in the lead.
Wait, what?
What? Is it 50s? It's 50s.
It's the 50s.
The answer is the 1930s.
Third? No.
Yeah, it's 50s.
Nah.
Fun size.
Let me Google this. I'm gonna Google this right now.
Google it right now.
Fun size in the 30s? That thing's a lie.
Mike keeps falling down the drain.
The term fun size was introduced by Mars
I could have swore I read that before and it was the 60s.
Incorporated in 1968. It is the smaller candy bar, although Curtis Candy Company has created a similar concept called the Junior Bars much earlier.
Dude!
There we go.
Fun size, though, 1968. So me and Mike are correct.
Dude!
We're correct. Yes.
Then
That
this
thing
is
is
wrong.
wrong. That thing is wrong.
Dude, I knew I read it. That thing, dude, fuck Spirit. Fuck. Where'd they get this? Because I'm pretty sure I read it was the 60s.
68 to be exact.
All right, hold on. Let me look it up myself.
Dude.
The junior size was in the 1930s.
We don't care about junior size. We care about fun size.
It's the same thing. That's what it said. Commonly handed out at Halloween during what
The
decade
fun
did
size
the fun
became
size?
a marketing ploy and strategy in 1971. However, Mars launched its fun size in 1968.
When was...
Junior bars date back to the 1930s. So
Yeah, it's right here.
yeah, that's
No. Here you go. Here you go. Here's another thing where it says fun size candy originated with the Curtis Candy Company in the 1930s.
Yeah, that trivia is wrong. The price is wrong, bitch.
Which created junior and buddy size bars.
you didn't say
Mars-
that though. That's not fun size.
Fun size is a term that was later trademarked. So
yes,
it was
in what?
That's not fun size, though. Fun size.
Yeah, but it's
1968.
It's still the fun size. The terminology may not be correct, but originated with the Curtis Candy Company in the 1930s.
This is bullshit.
In 68.
That thing's wrong.
So this is what we'll do.
We'll get a new trivia question right now.
No. That was it. This is way too long of a trivia, and we don't normally go this long with all these explanations. So we'll just give it a mute. Like nobody gets a wrong or right answer. How
All right,
about that?
I'll take that.
Yeah, that thing's wrong. So I think Matt and I get this right.
No.
We get it right. The true thing right here, fun size was, I'm looking at it. The term fun size was created by Mars Inc. in 1968.
Boom, I read that today.
Boom, 60s. I think we get it. And Spirit Halloween trivia cards are fucking stupid.
We're going to throw Halloween trivia,
I don't know.
spirit cards.
You decide
out
in the
window.
comments.
Let us
Should
know.
we give them a point or not? And then we'll decide from there. Anyway,
In the trash.
more trivia next time. Maybe we won't use spirit
Yes, a point.
or anymore. We'll have to make up our own. This is why we need to make up our own
Halloween pumpkin
trivia.
is
Anyway,
nice.
This is getting out of control. See you next time.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone.